Wildcats of the Future 2020 is presented by Papa John's and sponsored by Coca-Cola, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Kroger, Papa John's, and by UK Federal Credit Union.
Hello, everybody. Brian Milam and Jeff Pecoro here to tell you about the Wildcats of the future. Mark Stoops and the staff, they snagged another talented bunch. And Jeff, some say this could be the best recruiting class ever.
Well, I think at least on paper it is, Brian. They are bigger, stronger, and faster than any class he's brought in here. It's a different type of athlete than they've had here in the years past.
Yeah, and UK has been playing so well over the last several years. That's only going to get you better and better players. Now, some have been committed for months, maybe since last year, and some committing only recently. Let's take a quick look at the newest football Wildcats, and we will start with the 4 stars. Sam Anelli, strong side defensive end from Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Anelli's a guy that can get to the quarterback. Think Josh Allen in this guy. He's a 4-star recruit. He was ranked the number 96 player in the class by Rivals. Number 5 weak side defensive end. And look at that. I mean, he's just got speed. He's got the quickness. And again, they can see the Josh Allen in this guy. And that's the key. They were always looking for a guy to replace him and Boogie. This could be the guy in Anelli. Great size, 250 pounds at 6'4".
How about Justin Rogers? This kid is just several months ago. He stayed firm on his commitment. The defensive tackle from Oak Park, Michigan, one service calling him a 5-star recruit.
When Rogers committed all those months ago, I think people went, whoa, wait a minute here. But this was the key to the class to get him in the fold. This guy can do it all. He's got great size, great quickness, great strength. Look at that. He gets into the backfield. He's got great extension. He is going to be a key player for this team in the future.
Let's talk about John Young, another major victory, offensive lineman from Christian Academy of Louisville.
John Young, another guy, great size. You're going to hear me say that over and over again. 4-star, ranked the number 4 player in the state of Kentucky. And look, you had to get this guy to get other kids in the state. You had to get him. They did. He's going to be a good offensive line player.
Here's another 4-star who comes to Kentucky via Auburn, the transfer quarterback, Joey Gatewood.
Gatewood is a guy that you're going to look at and go, wow, are you kidding me? He looks like Cam Newton. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. He can flick it downfield. He can really run. I talked to Henshaw today about him. Coach loves the way he can spin it.
How about a ton of 3 stars in this class? We will begin alphabetically with R.J. Adams, offensive guard out of Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah, a couple people say he's a 4-star. It's interesting. All-American offensive lineman, number 6 recruit out of Virginia. He originally committed to Penn State, but he flipped after he took his visit here to Kentucky. Big player.
An early commit from a guy just down the road from Lexington Catholic, quarterback Bo Allen.
Played with his dad. We called him $half Bill. But Bo is a guy that they love his grit. He said, look, we're going to go after Gatewood. He knew they were bringing him. He says, I'm up for the challenge. I can't wait.
They landed Khalil Branham, a wide receiver from Buckeye Country up in Columbus.
From Columbus, he said he's coming in early. He's going to enroll in January. He's Northland's Offensive Player of the Year. Gives him another guy with great size and a 4-star recruit who played also tracks. He can really run.
Let's go back to the Motor City. Another talented player from Detroit, offensive tackle DeAndre Buford.
DeAndre Buford, another guy with size. If you can see what we're saying here. They're bigger, stronger, faster players than have ever been here before. Great prospect, again, out of Michigan.
The Wildcats go back to the Ville and come up with an electric talent, wide receiver Isaiah Cummings.
I think we might talk about him a little bit later as well. To me, he is the sleeper guy in this class. I listed him as the number 86 wide receiver. He finished this year 55 catches for over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Big play written all over him.
And you talked about adding size. How about a JUCO signee, Jeremy Flack, 6'6", 320.
And Coach Stoops talked about just the sheer size of this kid when he saw him. He said, oh, my goodness, I got to have him. He's coming here. This guy is going to be an anchor of this offensive line.
Blocks out the sun. He's so big. We're about halfway through this talented list. There's much more to come on the UK Sports Network.
Buildings, cheerleading pyramids, pizza. They all need good foundations. And Papa John's foundation is crust. Crust is the first thing your tongue touches when you take a bite. And this dough right here is fresh, never frozen. And now it's slathered in garlic sauce and Parmesan. Dang. The new garlic Parmesan crust for just $10. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
To some, it's just a boat. But to Jim, it's his escape from meetings, traffic, and the grind of daily life. He may not catch any keepers, but he wouldn't trade his day on the lake for anything in the world. That's why his boat is insured by Kentucky Farm Bureau. But it's not just Kentucky's Farm Bureau. It's Jim's Recharge the Battery Farm Bureau.
My Farm Bureau.
Kentucky Farm Bureau. Big on commitment.
You know who really loves fresh food? Amateur chefs, stay-at-home parents, salad lovers, barbecuers, smorgasburgers, hors d'oeuvres, fondue-ers, and flambéers, midnight snackers, brown baggers, bakers, and throw it in the microwavers. At Kroger, you can get all the fresh you want at a great price with delivery and free pickup because we believe in fresh for everyone.
Welcome back. Brian Milam, Jeff Pecoro, and we are breaking down this year's list of the UK signees on this first day. Recruits can sign, and the Cats landed a bunch of good ones early today. This one came later in the morning, and more size up front. We're talking about Josiah Hayes.
Josiah Hayes, regarded as the number 2 prospect in the state of Mississippi, a top 15 defensive tackle nationally, 4 stars by Rivals. So, you know, it's one of those tweener guys in a 3 or 4 star, but he is great size at 285 too.
We all know Ohio has been fertile country for Mark Stoops and Vince Marrow. That's where they find safety Ricky Hyatt out of Westerville.
Boy, Westerville is a place that's really come on up there. Hence Benny Snell, but
right.
Great football up there. Looking for this kid to come in and be a difference maker here, and you can see there, just got great size. And again, you're going to hear me say that about almost every one of these recruits.
Well, the Wildcats also went down south to Dublin, Georgia, to find linebacker Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson, another player, rated as the number 47 inside linebacker in the country. What I like about him, he packs 250 on that frame, so he's a true inside guy that can really snuff out the run.
Let's go down to Alabama. Offensive tackle Joshua Jones from Phoenix City, Alabama.
Joshua Jones, another guy that they hope that could come in. He's rated as the number 32 prospect in the state. He helped them advance to the 7A state championship. 6'6", 300. They think they can put another 20 to 30 pounds on that frame.
Staying in Ohio, all-purpose athlete Juton McClain out of Fairfield.
Gonna love this guy. Rushed for over 4,400 yards, 53 touchdowns. He can also catch the ball. Had 7 scores as a senior. He rushed for almost 2,000 yards and 21 scores. So he has a great nose for the end zone.
The news on this guy broke during Mark Stoops' afternoon press conference. Another huge lineman, Octavius Oxendine.
This was one that they said could be the difference maker in this class. They really wanted to get Oxendine in here, and you can see why when you're watching these videos of him. Another guy that's got a powerful build and a big-time engine.
How about a legacy wide receiver, Andrew Phillips out of South Carolina? His father, Carlos, played linebacker in the late 80s under Jerry Claiborne.
Yeah, Andrew Phillips, another guy. He's a 3-star recruit, number 8 overall player in South Carolina. So they expect him to come in. He originally was from Louisville, then he moved down there, but he's going to play in the Shrine Bowl, the Carolinas, too.
The Cats landed this guy out of Tennessee, defensive tackle Travion Ribka.
Ribka, a guy that's got good size to him at 6'4", 300. And again, watch the explosiveness that he has. That's one of the things that, talking to the coaches, they talked about that they really liked him. Consensus top 50 defensive tackle.
Back up to Michigan again, this time for wide receiver Ernest Sanders.
Sanders, explosive all-around athlete. Played basketball, ran track too, first-team All-State. Caught 19 passes, but 522 yards and 7 touchdowns.
You know all about the talent in Cincinnati, in that area. Quarterback Carrington Valentine. More traditional power out of Cincinnati Moeller.
Well, again, you come out of Moeller, you're a really good player. This kid is solid. One of the top 100 quarterbacks in the country. Rated as high as number 23 in the state by Rivals. And I kind of like Rivals in what they do. I like their evaluators, and they really like this young man.
Let's not forget about another transfer, Kelvin Joseph. Former LSU Tiger, sat out last year. He'll be ready to play next year.
This was a coup for them to bring him in.
No question.
Joseph is a kid who's played in the SEC, and he can come in, he can step in immediately and contribute to this defensive backfield, who I thought was one of the most improved over what they lost from a season ago.
Great practice player this year. Stay with us. There's much more to come, including comments from the Top Cat himself. We will hear from Mark Stoops.
Where are we? Another planet?
Tongue to garlic Parmesan crust. Come in, crust.
Somehow the geniuses at Papa John's landed their famous garlic sauce all over that toasty, cheesy crust. And to that, I say mission accomplished. The new garlic Parmesan crust for just $10. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Welcome back on what, for some coaches, is the football version of Christmas Day. That all depends on how well you did and your staff did. Leading up to the first day, recruits can sign national letters. Mark Stoops and his staff seemed like they are pretty pleased today.
Well, you know, this, like you said, is Christmas for them. They work all year to get to this day. And I think today they opened a lot of presents. And I think that Coach Stoops even told us there are still more presents to be opened. But I had a chance to talk to him about his brand new Wildcats and a big day on the recruiting trail.
Offensive line-wise and defensive line-wise, unbelievable players, great size and length, athleticism, really big-time players. So we got better today up front. There's no question about that.
To win in the SEC, it doesn't matter how great the skill players are. You have to dominate the line of scrimmage. That is something that you guys have worked on through the years. You've got to the point with your offensive and defensive line where they have dominated, and this class is huge. You have 7 guys over 285 pounds.
No, there's no question. Again, I can't emphasize it enough. It's a line of scrimmage game. Our league is a line of scrimmage league, and you know, if you are not physical, you know, you're going to have a tough time surviving. You know, you may win a game here or there. You know, being cute is really nice once in a while, but you better be big and strong and physical, and you know, you got to consistently be that way. And again, we recruit to that. You know, we recruited. You know, this is probably by far the best class as far as guys, you know, physically and mentally mature enough to come in and play, you know, and have a great impact early. There's some special guys in this class.
Let's tap on the quarterbacks for a second. Obviously, you had 3 injuries this year. You had to go to the receivers room to find yourself a quarterback, but you got 2 really good ones here. You get the kid Gatewood from Auburn who's transferring in, and Bo Allen.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Bo was a target of ours for 4 years. So we've been on Bo and working Bo for a long time. He was extremely important to me and to our program to get him here and to get him signed, and unbelievable family. And he's been a joy to recruit, and so we're really proud of that. And then with the injuries and everything that's happened in the 2 transfers last year, we got caught thin at that position, which opened the door for Joey to come in. And again, you want to talk about a guy, an unbelievable present to show up on your doorstep, you know, to recruit him and to be able to get him signed and really be a part of this class is another guy that's unbelievably special. Great big guy, big arm, unbelievably talented, has some experience. So it was important for us to get both of those guys.
Finally, for any coach, how stressful is a day like today? You've worked so hard getting up to this, and then it's when is that fax machine going to start coming through, right?
Without a doubt. You know, I felt so good about it. You know, it's one of those things where the nucleus of this class has been so solid. Right. And that is a great thing. And so, you know, that may give me a lot of comfort because of the leadership that's in this group and how solid they are. But we did pull a couple rabbits out of the hat today, and that makes me very happy. And we got some big things, and the class is not done yet. There's going to be some in the coming days, in the coming weeks, that we're going to continue to add to this class. It's going to be extremely special when it's all said and done.
One thing I took from Stoops earlier in the day, 11 guys on defense, 9 on offense, very balanced, but he also mentioned the guys up front.
Yeah, plugging holes, and you win in the SEC with the offensive and defensive lines, and they got big-time players. This team looks the part when they get off the bus. It's no longer the little guys from Kentucky. And 10 states represented, and hopefully one more in the very near future.
And that could happen soon. Coming up, we will hear from the big dog, Vince Marrow, Kentucky's recruiting coordinator and one of the keys to recruiting success here in Lexington. Much more to come on the UK Sports Network.
The way Bill sees it, a car is not just for getting from point A to point B. For Bill, his car is a reflection of his personality, his style, his values. That's why he has Kentucky Farm Bureau take care of his insurance. Because we're not just Kentucky's Farm Bureau, we're Bill's pride and joy Farm Bureau.
My Farm Bureau.
Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
This holiday season, UK Federal Credit Union is offering low rates and free checking accounts, which means more money to spend on the perfect gift and memories you'll never forget. UK Federal Credit Union. Banking only better.
Thank you for staying with us. Other schools have come after him, but somehow UK has been able to hang on to Vince Marrow. And Jeff, it's a good thing that has happened because he's been so pivotal in recruiting successful players for UK football.
Well, he's done it so long and so well. The big dog seemed pretty happy when I spoke with him earlier today.
Vince, I remember 6 years ago when you and Mark got here. First day, you see the guys and you're like, we got to get bigger. Well, your recruiting classes have gotten bigger every year, haven't they?
Yes, it's funny because I remember, I'm a positive guy, and so Neil Brown said, we came in the room, I said, dude, I think we're gonna be all right. He said, bro, we're gonna win 201 games this year. And I remember Mark came in and was like, let's go out and get longer guys, bigger guys, faster guys, and that's what we did.
You've done so good in the state of Ohio. You've been able to go up there and get great athletes and really good players, and you've done it again, and now you're even getting up into Michigan.
Yes, we selling our message and not getting away from the South, but since we're the further SEC school north, with Michigan, and I think Clinkers took my guy from Ohio saying, hey, we think we got the best state, best Midwest football, come play in the SEC and play against some of the guys down south, and I think that message is going over well.
I know another guy you're really excited about, and Louisville's been a tough nut for us to crack here at the University of Kentucky, and especially Louisville male. But you get the Cummings kid, and this is a kid who doesn't look like a high school senior.
No. Since Stoops put me in Louisville, this will be our second year. We have signed. I think Brad was saying we signed 5 of the top 10 in Louisville this year, and I think we signed 5 of the top 8 last year. So we actually. Really getting our presence down in there. But this kid, he's kind of has some talent, like they were saying, kind of like Parker, the kid that's with the Dolphins now. He's a very solid kid, great family, comes from a great program. And it's very hard to get kids out of Mayo if Louisville's in that backyard. But he's a solid kid, committed to us. And here's a unique thing about that. His dad worked at Louisville. So it was kind of, when we started recruiting him, I was like, this is going to be tough. And his dad, I love his parents. They said they wanted what was best for him, and the kid fell in love with our staff, and we are very excited to have him.
How much fun is this day for you? Because this is a whole year process, culminates on signing.
I was telling this is a joke that might go national, but a guy was asking me, and I said, it's kind of like, when your wife was pregnant and your kid is going to be 9 months before it comes. Next to having kids, this is like a second wave of I'm having a kid, and they've been pregnant for 9 months, and you finally get to sign them, you deliver them today. And I'm very excited about every year we get guys that come in here, and then you see when they become seniors, and you say, wow, you really helped them guys grow as young men, and all of them graduate. And now we get to the point where a lot of our guys are going to the NFL, and that's what I love about that too.
There has to be an excitement level on this day, especially because, as he mentioned, you get to see what you get to cultivate here.
No, you're exactly right, Brad. But, when you see the ESPNs of the world and they list the top 10 or top 20 players in the country, There's a Kentucky guy there. And, we kind of glazed over Justin Rogers. He's the number 10 player in the country, the number 2 defensive lineman in the country, and he's coming to Kentucky. That's what they've been able to do. That's the type of athlete now that is coming here to play football. I mean, Gatewood, the quarterback from Auburn, he's Cam Newton light. It's going to be fun to see a 6'4", 250-pound quarterback back there slinging it and running.
Up next, we will try to predict the future. Who are the sleepers, the potential stars from this year's class? More to come on the UK Sports Network.
Buildings, cheerleading pyramids, pizza. They all need good foundations. And Papa John's foundation is crust. Crust is the first thing your tongue touches when you take a bite. And this dough right here is fresh, never frozen. And now it's slathered in garlic sauce and Parmesan. Dang. The new garlic Parmesan crust for just $10. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
This holiday season, UK Federal Credit Union is offering low rates and free checking accounts, which means more money to spend on the perfect gift and memories you'll never forget. UK Federal Credit Union. Banking only better.
You know who really loves fresh food? Amateur chefs, stay-at-home parents, salad lovers, barbecuers, smorgasborders, hors d'oeuvres, fondue and flambeers, midnight snackers, brown baggers, bakers, and throw it in the microwavers. At Kroger, you can get all the fresh you want at a great price with delivery and free pickup, because we believe in fresh for everyone.
It is a star-studded recruiting class, so now let's try to get out that crystal ball and figure out which of these players might shine the brightest.
Well, I think I kind of tipped my hand already, but to go up to Michigan and get a guy like Justin Rogers, the number 10 prospect in the country. He's a guy that, remember, they redshirted their entire recruiting class from this past season. They do not think this kid will redshirt. They think he will play because there's some holes to fill on that defensive line. I think he can do it.
I will go with Isaiah Cummings. I got to go to the home city of Louisville for this guy. Yes, he went to one of our arch rivals in high school, but this guy, to me, reminds me of a taller version of Ivan Green, who played some 20 years ago. That's just me, though. All right, let's talk sleepers in the group. You've got one, and yeah, there he is again.
I think it's coming. He's a 3-star. He's not a 4 or 5-star. But what I like about him is kind of what you said. He's got great size, great athleticism. Watch, he goes up and catches the ball at the highest point. That's key for receivers, and he's able to go over the defensive backs. Kentucky hasn't had that big-time threat other than Lynn Bowden, and they're still searching. This could be the guy. He's got good speed. Look at this. He's able to break tackles, and, man, he can run too.
I will take Khalil Branham, another wide receiver. This guy out of Columbus, and a 4-star guy with sensational track speed. I think when you see Kentucky wide receivers, we haven't seen, other than Bowden, you go back to some Randall Cobb. I want to see that guy who just explodes and can beat somebody down the field time and time again.
That's a great point. Kentucky's been minus, other than Juice a couple of years ago, the guy that could take the top off the defense and force those safeties deeper into the zones. That's something they missed. This could be the guy because you said he's got great speed, and he's also pretty good on Twitter, too, I understand.
Not too bad. One thing as we look at this entire class and in the classes prior, 30 years ago, it was said Kentucky could not recruit in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan. Well, guess what? It's in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and several other places.
No, you're exactly right. I think that the Youngstown connection with Stoops and Marrow has helped a lot. They know a lot of the coaches there. His father, Jim Tressel, those were guys that he's really leaned on as he's got here deeper into his tenure here. It's bigger, better, faster players. They're just athletic now, and that's something that hasn't been here in a long time.
And UK is passing the eye test, not just on the field, but as they walk on the field now.
Well, I think that's big time, too. I remember Kirk Herbstreit said that to me one time, and you're one of the smallest teams I've ever seen. Not anymore.
That'll do it for this edition of the early signing period. The Cats will be in Charlotte for the Belk Bowl. For Jeff Pecora, I'm Brian Milam. We'll see you next time.
Wildcats of the Future 2020 was presented by Papa John's and sponsored by Coca-Cola, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Kroger, Papa John's, and by UK Federal Credit Union.